Now, on the ABC's radio current affairs program AM this morning, we heard from Australian multi-billionaire Mike Cannon-Brookes, who's encouraging his staff to get involved in this month's global climate action strike. Can you believe? Here he is talking to the ABC's Peter Ryan about all this corporate social responsibility, as they like to call it.
So is this activism in terms of dealing with the climate the new corporate social responsibility?
It's a large part of corporate social responsibility, sure. I mean, that responsibility is a corporation's impact on the community and society within which it exists. You know, we even have the RBA governor saying, you know, it'll be a huge impact on the Australian economy broadly if the climate crisis continues at the rate it's going. So from a purely capitalist dollars and cents point of view, a lot of Australian companies have issues they need to work out here.
Wacky stuff, really. Virtue signalling is what it is. There is no need for a global software company to be telling people what to think about climate change, especially if they can't get their facts right. Listen to this exchange about climate policy in this country.
Been critical about the government's lack of climate policy or the lack of any climate action at all.
Absolutely. I mean, we have no credible climate policy in Australia. We're one of the largest emitters in the world, especially if you count exports. 2 days ago, we hit a 7-year high in Australian emissions, and we still have no movement on the government side.
And still no climate policy, despite being in a new era with a new Prime Minister, Scott Morrison.
Talk about corporate responsibility for Cannon-Brookes and the ABC. Surely the number one responsibility is not for political posturing and political point scoring, but for the truth, for the facts. This line about Australia not having any climate policy is blatantly false, yet they repeat it and they double down on it. Australia has ratified the Paris Agreement. This nation is committed to reducing its emissions to the Paris targets, a cut of at least 26% on 2005 levels. We met our Kyoto targets. We have a renewable energy target, a climate solutions fund. We're building the Snowy Hydro 2.0, and the list goes on. In fact, we're sending companies to the wall and pensioners broke with our ridiculous energy policies designed to meet our emissions targets, which are our living, breathing climate policy. And these propagandists get on our taxpayer-funded broadcaster and tell the nation we don't have a climate policy in this country. This is fake news. This is not corporate social responsibility.